Hello mga kananay! Hello everyone! Welcome back to Nanay Jane's English Lessons. For today's lesson, let's talk about the differences between a phrase and a clause. A phrase is a group of words that doesn't express a complete thought, while a clause is a group of words that may or may not express a complete thought. For example, in the middle. This is a phrase and it doesn't make any sense. In the middle of what? What is in the middle? We don't know, so it doesn't have a complete meaning. She felt uncomfortable when she sat in the middle. This is a clause that has a complete thought. Who felt uncomfortable? She. Who sat in the middle? She. How did she feel? Uncomfortable. This is actually a complete sentence. So, we can say that a complete sentence is also a clause. But, not all clauses express a complete thought. Just like a phrase, it may also be meaningless. For example, when she sat in the middle. This is a clause that doesn't make any sense also. You might wonder, if a clause may not also express a complete thought just like a phrase, how will you know the difference? Remember this, a phrase may or may not contain either a subject or a verb, while a clause always contains both a subject and a verb. For example, a beautiful place. Have been waiting since childhood. A beautiful place has only a subject, which is the word place. Have been waiting is a phrase that contains only the verb. Since childhood is a phrase that contains only the subject childhood. Again, a phrase may or may not contain either a subject or a verb only. On the other hand, the clause, she lives in a beautiful place. This has the subject she and the verb lives. Another example, after she gave birth to Mav. This is a clause or an incomplete sentence that has the subject she and the verb gave. Let's learn more about phrases and clauses by looking at their types. A phrase may be a noun phrase, which talks about any person, thing, animal, event, place, or idea. For example, the reception area. This is a place. The Philippine eagle. It's an animal. A loving husband. It's a person, etc. It may also be a verb phrase which talks about an action or a state of being. For example, could learn, should sit, is crying, has been waiting, etc. There is also a prepositional phrase, which is a group of words that begin with a preposition. For example, across the street. Across is the preposition. along the road, in the dark, on the table, behind the sofa, and so on. A phrase may also be an adjective phrase, which is a group of words that are used to describe a noun. For example, quite big, very mysterious, totally broken, and so on. And an adverb phrase, which is a group of words that are used to describe a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. For example, very carefully, or too much, or so peacefully, etc. A clause, on the other hand, may be a dependent clause or an independent clause. A dependent clause is a group of words that has a subject and a verb, but it doesn't have a complete meaning. For example, since she was young, whenever their parents are away, although I am a fan. So these clauses have a subject and a verb, but they don't have a complete meaning. An independent clause is a complete sentence, meaning it has both a subject and a verb, and it expresses a complete thought. For example, my parents always believe in me. I support him even though he's not here. Mav loves dolls. Again, these sentences are independent clauses. They express a complete meaning. Let's practice. Tell whether each group of words is a phrase or a clause. You may use the comment section below to write your answers. Let's begin. Number 1, in front of the old building. Number 2, she sings. Number 3, they never listened. Number 4, if I didn't love you. Number 5, one of our closest friends. Let's check your answers. Number 1 is a phrase. This is a prepositional phrase because of the preposition in front of. Number 2, she sings is a clause. This is an independent clause because it has a subject and a verb. Who sings? She. What does she do? Sings. It's an independent clause. Number 3, they never listen is a clause. It's an independent clause. It has a subject, they, and a verb, listen, and it expresses a complete meaning. Number 4, if I didn't love you is a clause. It's a dependent clause. It has a subject, I, and the verb didn't love, but it doesn't express a complete thought. Number 5, one of our closest friends is a phrase. This is a noun phrase because it talks about the noun friends. Number 6, tomorrow morning. Number 7, unless you go. Number 8, because I said so. Number 9, before her mother. Number 10, should be learning. Let's check your answers. Number 6, tomorrow morning is a phrase. It's an adverb phrase because tomorrow morning is an adverb. Number 7, unless you go is a clause. It's a dependent clause. Why? Because it has the verb go and the subject you, but it doesn't express a complete thought. Unless you go, it's meaningless. Number 8, because I said so. This is another clause, a dependent clause. It has a subject I and the verb said, but it doesn't express a complete meaning. Number 9, before her mother. This is a phrase, a prepositional phrase, because of the preposition before. Before her mother is a group of words that has only the subject mother and no verb. And the last one, should be learning. This is a phrase, a verb phrase. Should be learning is a group of words that contains the verb. What's your score? If you got a perfect score of 10, congratulations! If you got 9 and below, you may want to watch this video again to practice more. Thank you for learning with me today. If you have any questions or suggestions for our future topics, please feel free to comment, and see you in our next English lesson. Thank you! Happy learning!